Good morning. Good morning. Cool. Cool. Silver sounds great. The link's in the chat room there. Hey, Trigger. Homer the Clown Trigger. Saw you over at Mike's. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Hey, Fishy on. You put a chat in there early, like midnight on my end of things. Excuse me while I'm eating. Got Silver Creek Aquatics to come up and chat with us a little bit. Everybody staying warm? Yeah, June, you are a live stream beast. I don't know how you stay up all night long. Here for a little bit. Gotta go get breakfast. Cool, Michael. I just appreciate you stopping in. Nice, Paul. I like breakfast tacos. Good morning, Mad Mex. Good to see you, sir. My fish tank's aquatics low. How are you? Everybody staying warm? Excuse me for eating. Silver Creek, Tommy, he'll be joining us shortly. I like Golden Corral. Uh-oh.
What is good? You hear me all right? Can you hear me all right? Oh, dang. I've got no sound. I knew it would be something. I knew it would be something. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a headset. I'm going to get a headset.
Thanks, Mad Max. I was muted. I caused Tommy to go get Tommy. I was muted, man.
Oh, okay.
Everyone else can hear you.
I was like, what the heck is going on? I've got everything right here.
I have no idea how I was muted. I've had this thing up for like 2 hours setting it up.
No clue, man. It happens sometimes.
You got all your backgrounds behind you in the corner. That's a pretty cool setup you got going on.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they look really nice. You've really honed your skills with them things as time went on. You've only been doing those for what, like maybe 6 months?
Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, just well, maybe it may be coming up on that about 6 months now. Yeah, you're probably right. I just haven't been like heavy into it until like the last maybe 3 or so. Like I did a lot of practicing on it at first, so I mean I had to develop it, get it down. I knew what I wanted to do, but I had to develop it.
Yeah. And that was real nice of you gifting that to Garcia for their anniversary or wedding rather.
Yeah, I'm glad that they enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now, do you still have that? If it's okay to mention, I don't know, but I know you had one company coming to you to maybe possibly buy those off you.
To sell, I've had a couple people want me to send them to them so that they can sell them on their website.
Okay.
Just working out a couple more things. One of them actually still working on the same thing for both of them, and that is the logos and how they want the logos and if they want their logos on them or not.
You excited about that?
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be great. That would be really great. It would definitely help me out, and hopefully help them out too with getting them something new and exciting to put on their website that nobody else is going to have.
Exactly. I mean, what have we always had? You go to your PetSmarts or Petco's, you got them roll up freaking blue, whatever backgrounds, or what do we paint? I always just paint mine black or use the poster board.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some cool ones out there for sure,
Yeah.
but nothing like this. So it's definitely nice to see something like what you make different.
Yeah, or be able to have it done custom. Like you have an idea in your head, and it's like this is what I want for the background. How can we make this happen?
Yeah.
So
Now, are you always going to stick to the shapes, the planets, and stuff like that? Or are you going to tap into trying different things?
oh, I absolutely work on different things. This one right here behind me is my newest one. That's my first Aurora Borealis. I know it's kind of similar. Hold on, I'm trying to turn this. It's a light with the light mount has the camera on it. So there we go.
That one directly behind you above the mountains?
This one right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's on canvas. That's not a background. That's done on canvas. That was my practice session. I've got probably 8 to 10 hours into this one. So
Yeah. And are they? I'm assuming they're supposed to go behind the tank glass on the outside. Okay.
yeah. Here, I'll show you.
Yeah, that's the only thing I was confused about. I didn't know if you could put them right in there or not.
Yeah, they're it's on what it is they're on HD poster board. So like here's one right here. Sorry you can see the light ring back there, but here's one here. Very, very thin. So yeah, you would just attach it, put it on the back of the glass with this side facing forward, and then you could just put a piece of tape on it and go around, or however you want to mount it. And then of course the back is blank. Some of them aren't blank. Some of them I've done stuff on the back too. It'll just be like a solid color or a color scheme or something, but not painted. Or not artistically painted. But these are sealed on the back as well. So that way if any water happens to splash on it, here, I've got a tank right here. If any water does happen to splash on it, you can just wipe it off.
Okay, and the painted side, and I'm sure you've tested this, but
yeah.
like, will the tape remove any of it? The paint?
Mm-mm. Nope.
What if somebody used some like a real badass double-sided tape?
A couple what?
Like, let's just say someone used like some of that badass double-sided tape. Would that possibly take the paint off?
Oh yeah. I'm sure it would. I mean, I haven't tested that. I probably could, but I mean, two-sided tape will take the paint off almost anything, unless it's like baked on enamel.
That's what I'm just because people do some silly stuff like
yeah.
If you're putting a background on your tank like that, the last thing you're going to want to use is double-sided tape because you'll see the stinking tape.
Yeah, very true.
In my mind, I'd use Scotch tape.
Yeah. Yep. Oh dang it! That just went right on the heater.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming in. Hey, Craig, Lady Rorschach, I did send your last week's giveaway out. Let me know when you get that. Hey, Scotty. Local Humane Society. Lady, I did that when I was younger. I volunteered at my local Humane Society for a little bit. Really, really enjoyed that.
I hadn't even seen who else here yet. Oh, dang, dude. You picking up. You're picking up, bro. Getting some people in here. Heck yeah.
Hey, Fish Cave.
What is up, everybody in the chat world? Thank y'all for joining.
So when I got a hold of Tommy and asked if he wanted to come up here, what I was talking to him about is the kind of the subject of this stream is like just misconceptions in the fish keeping hobby, a subject that Tommy always loves to confront and not afraid to call people out on their crap and just debunk things. He does his research. He's very knowledgeable, things like that. And it sucks because I was over on Mike B's. Live and Fathom was in there, and he was talking about, and I didn't know this, but he is a like a beta tester for the Pond Guru, and he's currently.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's cool.
It's his only U.S. I think he's the only U.S. beta tester for the products, and what he's coming up with is a synthetic biohome um, biological filtration, and he's testing it.
Wow!
It's like it's biohome, but it's a synthetic version. I tried to get him to come up, but he couldn't because he's going over to Aquafunk stream. But he said maybe sometime in the future. And I kind of mentioned to him, well, I heard that pot scrubbers have a lot more surface area and hold more biological good bacteria on them. And he goes, and I heard that from DIY King. This is nothing I researched, but DIY King was saying it holds more. Mm-hmm. No, just because he's DIY King, you don't know everything. But he was saying that.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, he was saying it will hold more than Biohome. And his reply was, Fathom's reply was, it's kind of, they're great. They work well and by far cheaper than Biohome. But they only harbor autotrophic bacteria. They don't harbor the other one. The Biohome can do both. And I was really hoping to get him up here, but he was hanging out with Aquafunk, and that's fine. Would have been a great subject to discuss.
Is that for pond settings alone?
I don't know. That's what I'd love to have had them, all three of us up here just to chat about it, because I don't know all the ins and outs with that. I just know that the more surface area you have, the more you can harbor. But I also understand that your good bacteria is only always going to expand to the size of the load you have in the tank. You can fill your tank with this stuff, but if you got 10 fish, it's only going to expand to the size it needs to maintain the tank. It's not it's not additional. You know what I mean?
Right, because it's the fish that are adding the extra into it. Well, by you feeding them and then that leaving and going into the bottom of the tank. So in a sense, that's absolutely right, because however many fish you have in there, whatever bioload they have, which means however much they're eating and pooping out or sweating and peeing out or breathing out, whatever, that's the only amount that's really ever going to be in there unless they're sick or something happens. They're putting off different pheromones for pregnancy or mating or something like that. But I don't think that's really going to have any effect. I wouldn't expect their little signals they send through the water to each other or pheromones to affect that in any way. That's getting like way, way too deep off into it than I would ever go. I try to simplify it as much as I possibly can. But that's why I was asking if it was just a pond setting, because you got to think of people that don't even run a filter in their tank or anything like that. It's like, okay, so where are they getting all of that bacteria? So if you have to have this type of media, how are these other systems working? So that's why I was like, maybe it's in a bigger setup. Because it's like I was saying to you, like all of my experience comes from what I have, which is not a lot. I've got mostly small fish, mostly easy fish, and then easy native species. So I'm basically like the guy that has almost all of the fish that a person just getting into the hobby would get, depending on which direction they want to go, other than like wanting to jump like right into cichlids. Because honestly, I've never really kept the more well-known or bigger or saltier water needing cichlids that are out there. I haven't. The only cichlids that I have are angelfish and crebensis. Those are the only ones. And micro rams. Yeah. It's like the Bolivian rams, German blues, but I don't have any of the Germans. I only keep the Bolivians now. They're so hardy. I love them.
Yeah.
Buying seemed like buying German Rams, German Blue Rams, Black Knights, that genealogy of them was like playing roulette with the fish store. It's like, is this going to be a good one that's going to last, or is this going to be one that was vastly overbred like the majority of them, and I'm going to have issues with it and think and blame myself for all of the problems that are happening in my tank, or blame the tank and the problems happening in it, or possible problems happening in it, instead of it being just their bad breeding.
Yeah, I always explained it like, your biofilter in your tank is like an expandable rubber band. It'll expand and contract to the size of the load. This is one of the
Good
misconceptions.
analogy.
People think if they add filters on their tank, they're going to get more. You do get more surface area for it to grow on, but again, it's only going to grow to the size of what you need.
Right.
What you've gained is more filtration, cleaning the water cleaner, keeping the water cleaner. That's all you gained. And the nice thing about that too
Or
is that one
buffering
filter goes, you have to-
capabilities. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
one thing. People think that, oh, I'm going to put a bunch of. I seen a video one time, man. This guy had a 125 gallon tank. He had two FX6s on it. He had two AC 110s on it, and there was one more filter on this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, why?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I had the money when I very first started out, that's probably where I would be too. But unfortunately, I don't have the money to put into canister filters and stuff like that. So that's why I've stayed on like the lower end of everything, and especially with the one big, well, it's not really big, but the one larger tank that I have, being that 120, the 4-foot 120 that I have, I just run it on a sump and a pond pump.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was cheaper, a lot easier, but I mean, yeah, it's that's my whole goal is trying to find a way to do it for cheap.
Well,
I'm a cheap ass man. I'm always going to find the cheap way.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that. You can.
No. But I would definitely be there if I had the money to be able to say I had the canister filters and all of that, just to be able to control more of an environment and have more flex in what I wanted to keep, or more flex in what I'm wanting. Not like me flexing on, but more flexibility within the tank or the system or what I would keep in it. So it would give me more control over that. So that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Like, I put a video out on it, my FX4. After some troubleshooting, I found out the motor stopped on it. I had to buy a new motor. It was like $84 on Amazon. I already had one. I already had one of them service kits for it. So I already had a brand new seal, brand new impeller. The impeller was fine anyways. But I thought it had just quit on me. I just happened to add the two AC 110s on the back one day because I noticed that the water was getting a little foggy and dirty. I'm like, no, I think I'm getting too many fish here with all the babies coming. Let's add some filtration. And within an hour, it cleaned it up. I'm like, sweet. I didn't realize the FX4 had stopped. So I found the motor was bad, replaced it. I always lube the seals up. And that kind of bleeds into the other thing I wanted to talk about, misconception. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but I see a fair amount of people down in these canister fields. Oh, they always leak. Oh, they're always a problem. I find that they're only a problem if you're doing lack of maintenance. That's the first motor I had to replace in years on one of them things. I got a 306 that won't stop. And as long as anytime 1, 2, 3 times a year, I take them apart. I clean, I lube the O-rings. They never get brittle. They never crack. They never fall apart because of that. Now, the only exception to that would be on a canister filter is that drain valve with like the flugels is all I keep. And I did a video on that. You can see where the ring on the drain valve the O-ring had broke. That's just because of a lot of turning. You cannot, and you can't tear those drain valves apart. You can't. You'll ruin them. I did a video on that. There is no servicing that drain valve. If it goes to bad, you just need to go buy a new one. But they're pretty cheap.
Yeah. Or if it's thick enough, be able to rethread a new piece in there or something, maybe.
Well, the way it's designed on the back side, there's like a tab. And I thought, oh, maybe that's for removal and cleaning and lubing the seal in there.
Hmm.
Well, it's not. That's for a stop. That's like a flag. And when you turn it, there's physical stops. So you can't turn it all the way. If you fly
Okay.
that back to get it out, which is what you have to do, you ruin it.
Yeah. See ya. I
So
see. I see.
yeah, I just think a lot of people's issues that they have with not only canister filters and anything, not just in fish keeping, but their house, you name it. I think it comes down to laziness and lack of maintenance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, a lot of this should be seen as if you were doing maintenance on your vehicle or maintenance on your house, as simple as cleaning your house. I mean, you do dishes every day, right? You wash your laundry every day. There's certain things that we do every day. There's certain things that we do every week. There's certain things that we do every month. And there's certain things that we do every year, just like paying our taxes. I mean, it can be seriously broken down in that way. You just have to find a way to fit all of the maintenance that your tank needs in that, if that's the route that you're going to be going with it. And absolutely, just like doing an oil change on your car, I mean, things need lubricated, things need checked out, need cleaned out, because you've got friction on parts moving together, especially with plastic, rubber, and metal together. You're going to have a lot of wearing out if you don't maintain them. So yeah, it's going to cause a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I
But
think in this world we've come a lot that way big time. Like I see more food recalls now than I ever have, and
mhm,
I do fully believe that it's because of laziness and quality of work. Nobody wants to work anymore. Everyone wants that
right.
easy route. You don't
Hmm.
start at the bottom of the totem pole anymore. Everybody wants to start up here. They run
Right.
nothing in between, just like that video you did where you were teaching your boy how to repair a broken PVC line.
Right.
I think it was PVC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was PVC.
These guys aren't learning this stuff. Then they, I mean, we've got more millennial millionaires now than we ever have due to social media and things like that. And they go from the bottom to the top and they can't fix anything in between. Well, that's cool, Lady Rorschach. That's nice of you. Like I said, I did do that one time. It is very rewarding to help animals like that. I used to love to go into the puppy cages and cat kitten cages and stick my head in there and they'd crawl all over me and then that cute puppy smell.
Hmm.
June says only Oscar's good is bio. Damn it. June says Biohome is good, but I know that she's also a big fan of pot scrubbers. I think, June, I think that you're one to gut a canister filter and just fill it with pot scrubbers, if I'm correct.
I did that in my sump. My the sump on my acrylic 40-gallon that I have. That looks like, Mexicali Jorge, his big tank that he usually has behind him, that acrylic one.
Yeah.
Mine's the baby version of that.
Okay.
And it's got a sump built into the back of it, and it's all it is pot scrubbers back there.
And it works.
And then I have a pre-filter on the motor that blows it back out. That's it.
Yeah. And you're done. That's it. I know
That's it.
sumps are great, but I'm not a fan of sumps. I know that you don't have to drill tanks. You can just run piping, make even DIY down to it. But I run the canisters, man. Anything that I have in my fish room, that's another thing. People were like, we're watching. I was over at Dan. I think it was Everyday Fish Keeping Live, and people were in there. No, somebody had put a post out. I think it was Aquarium Adventures. Graham put a post out about. I don't know if you saw that. How much do you plan to spend on your new tank or whatever if you're going to build one?
Mm-hmm.
People were like, "Wow, God!" I mean, and I think Whip said FX alone is like 400 some. A couple other people commented.
Mm-hmm.
I just put in there, if you spend thousands of dollars on a tank, that's your fault. Every
It's easy though. It is so easy. You can't sit
Mhm.
here and tell me that if you had $1,000 and you're like, man, you could find one tank to spend that $1,000 on out of all of them that you have. Even with what you have going on right now, you could still find $1,000 to spend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like every one of my tanks in here I got off the Facebook Market site. They were either free or very cheap. This 125-gallon Oscar tank was $300. What came with that was the tank, the lids, the lights. I made my own stand for it because I hate those shitty stands that PetSmart gives you with them. It came with, I don't know if I said it, but it came with an FX4. It came with food, a ton of stuff. The other
Yes.
125 community tank over here, I was mad on that deal. Old Army veteran guy, retired fish keeper of 40 years. He died. His wife couldn't stand to see the sight of it. They had everything in storage. There was apparently a 300-gallon tank in there this 125, a 75 stands, and 8 brute, those 32-gallon brute garbage cans full of stuff. That's where I got that Texas Holy Rock in my Buddha tank.
Nice, yeah.
By the time I got there, I got the 125, the 75, the stands, and everything else. Now, I did weed through a lot of old crap I can't use, but for $300, I got that tank. The full, all that stuff was just packed full of rocks and decor and pumps and canisters and filters. And the dude was back in his day, it was all about air pumps, and air-driven systems, and he just had a ton of that stuff, man.
Yeah, those I love finding deals like that.
My point is, I got a 75 I got for free. Mm-hmm. I don't pay full price for anything.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Especially with my wife, she was one of those back when couponing was actually worth doing couponing.
Yeah,
where you could. I mean, she was at one when I was in car sales. She was couponing as well on the side and was getting paid to leave the stores. Like, that's how good couponing used to be. And now it's not like that anymore. But yeah, we had a stint of 6 months where Walmart paid for our gas because of her couponing. Like, I did not pay for gas for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because of the money we were getting back from Walmart for buying from them. We were just putting it on a gift card and getting our gas with it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's actually a full-time job.
It was.
Yeah. I talked to a lady one time. She was in the Ross Dress for Less, or no, it's Food Lion, is the grocery store here where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her. She had however coupons, everything worked out. She had Silver Creek or Tommy. She had 2 grocery carts full of food. She paid nothing.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of time, and it is a full-time job. But if you sit down and cut all these coupons out and get all their deals, I mean, they got like $500
massive organization skills and a heck of a memory.
That's a full-time job, but it saves you a ton of money. It's worth it. I mean, she probably saved herself $500-$600 worth of groceries.
Mm-hmm. Just in that one trip. Yeah. Yep.
Aquafunk, Salient, Tommy, for the 2 dudes that sent me some free yesterday. Thank you, Playboys. Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
Pepin's in. He said hello to you. What does he say here? You can use it in an aquarium too. You can use it in an aquarium. I do. I wonder if she's talking about the pot scrubbers.
Maybe, or the biohome or whatever, or biohome versus them.
Yeah, I think that's what Joey does. He throws them at the bottom.
Yeah, I need to get into a canister. I'd like to, just to say that I've had one and I've worked with one, but I've never even worked with a canister filter yet or anything. So I'd like to. If it's one of those, it'll end up being one of those things. I'm sure that I'll just be watching for a deal on Facebook Marketplace, and when I see the right one that comes across, I'm sure it'll be a used one, the one that I buy, because I mean, anything over $100 that's not like some rare centerpiece fish or the tank itself for an aquarium, I'm not buying it. Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
That's what I do, man. I do have a couple new canister filters, but I didn't pay full price on that Facebook Market site. Some of these people do those Amazon pallet buys or whatever. Mm-hmm. I got a guy down the road that's been doing it. He'll get new ones, and right now he's got some that have been sitting on there for a while just because I don't need them. But he says you can get an FX6 for like $280. It's always about half off. So you spend about $400 for an FX6 in the store. He's asking about $200. But if you buy them for $300, you can get them for $300.
We need a website where we can track those people down that do that stuff.
Mm-hmm. and those are brand new. But I've used one. I've had no ill effects. I just clean them out. I don't know. I don't buy anything brand new if I don't have to. It's stupid.
There's definitely some things that I would buy new. I am definitely as much of a redneck and and rebel in most ways as I am. There's definitely some things that I am a snob about and have to have it new.
What's that?
with nothing to do with fish keeping really, unless it's a heater. I won't buy a used heater. I think
Oh,
that's
no.
just absolutely pointless and senseless. I mean, you're saving a couple bucks for something that may only work for a week or two
Cause a disaster.
or cause a disaster. Exactly. It's like if they're getting rid of it, why? You know, of course, everybody's gonna say, "Oh yeah, everything worked really good before we poured it all down. It all worked."
Yeah.
Then why are you getting rid of it? Something had to have happened. You're either moving or they all died because something happened. Something went wrong. You're not telling me the whole story here.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I don't mess with heaters. I actually I had all the heaters out of my tanks because in the summertime, my house keeps all my tanks about 78 degrees.
Mhm.
I thought my house would do the same thing this winter, but a couple of my tanks were getting to be about 72, dropping to 70. Excuse me. So I'm like, well, some of these fish, like your betas, and I think in Booners and at least angelfish, they like it a little warmer. Ain't that right?
Rams do too. Mollies, a lot of live bearers do as well. Like I've had way better luck running higher temperatures with live bearers than lowers. But I mean, they don't have our first misconception there, temperature. They don't have to stay at a constant temperature. I mean, these fish in the wild and their natural habitat, they're used to a fluctuation, whether it's going to be the sun's fully poking out and warming the surface of the water up, or it's at night and the temperature's dropped 5 to 15 degrees, and you're probably looking at depending on how deep you are, if you're above 3 foot deep, so a lot of your live bears and bettas and stuff like that found in the wild, they're going to have more of a temperature fluctuation than deeper water. I mean, below 3 or 4 feet, obviously they've got, there's the geothermal insulation, but you know what I mean. But
yeah, absolutely.
For, river fish, creek fish, shallow lake fish, they've been used to these temperature fluctuations from day to night since the dawn of time.
Well, as a matter of fact, sometimes it'll promote
Spawning,
spawning in some fish with temperature change.
Yeah.
But these fish will adapt. I think this is one thing we think way too deep in. Well, there is certain exceptions to that rule. Like I hear clown loaches needed to be like 90.
Yeah,
that's what I heard with clown loaches. Yeah, I heard they like it warm, like not like up close to 90 degrees. They need. There's another fish that has to have it real warm. I can't remember what.
Rams.
Is it rams?
Rams, yeah. If I won't keep a ram under 80, 82, 83. I'm above that with them for sure.
Yeah. And then
they do better in it. And that's kind of where we get to is we're like, all this comfortability. Oh, we got to keep them constantly comfortable. It's like, is anything constantly comfortable in life? No. And those uncomfortable positions that life gets into is what builds and develops and what has helped adapt us over time to certain things. So.
Yeah, exactly. We try to create those perfect atmospheres, but
it's not going to happen. We're not going to make perfection. None of us have done it. None of us can. If we did, then there wouldn't be such thing as maintenance, because it would just be there forever and always.
Only nature can do it, and even that one screws them up.
Yeah, and nature still pushes them for a spin every now and then.
Let's ask the dinosaurs.
Right. Exactly.
Right, stuff like June said here, the fluvial ceramic rings, they break down. Bio hasn't yet. Now I'm going to take her word for it. She's been keeping fish longer than me. I have the fluvial ceramic rings. I've never had the biohomes. I have Seachem Matrix. I have tried pot scrubbers, but in most of my tanks, I have the ceramic rings from either fluvial or whatever, and they have yet to break down on me. But again, she's been keeping these things a lot longer than me, but I have yet to see it. And honestly, Matrix is supposed to be a badass biological filter media because it has more surface area. It's supposed to be better than these. I even have you see the fluvial come out a while back with those big old FX biohome rings. They're huge. They're porous as hell. I got one of those in here. And the amazing thing is, no matter what I've used, the nitrates and the parameters are the same in all the tanks. it hasn't made any difference. So, do we really spend all that extra money for the bio home? Is it really going to make the tanks any better? That's my question.
Mhm.
Is it worth the money? Is it going to do what my tanks aren't already doing?
I guess that's going to depend on how you're doing it and what you do. Cause like in my situation, it doesn't even mean anything because it's not anything I would ever even consider purchasing for any of my tanks, but mine are completely different. And I think this is where it gets kind of cool because you have such polar opposition within the hobby. You've got people that want this beautiful structure, this beautiful decoration in their home that they can interact with and that other people can interact with. And, when you walk into their house and that's the first thing you see, like across from the door is this huge, beautiful, sparkling, crystal clear tank. Yeah, it's going to draw people's eye like, oh, wow, what's that? And then you have people like me and several others, I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm the only one at all, that are doing this like to retrofit and fit in like all of nature into it. So they're not just fish tanks to me. It's not just a decoration. It's not just like a science experiment or the fun. Like I'm using them now. That's watering my plants, growing my crops, and mixing that in with getting my substrate from my birds and fertilizer from my birds here on the homestead and putting all of that together in the fish tank and then letting the fish tank in return be what feeds everything else on our property. Like I really just mix everything all together. And that's why I was telling you like, over the phone, what was it, yesterday after you called me out for ignoring your text message, now I can't remember. Drawing a blank. Just waking up and hadn't had my coffee yet, and it slipped me.
Go get your coffee. You can.
Well, I can pull it up right here as a reminder instead of doing that. I was just hoping that my mind would actually work.
But yeah, I like what you do. You use your tanks as a tool and for fun.
Mm-hmm. I remember
functionality. It's efficiency.
Mm-hmm. I won't add chemicals.
I'm surprised you're not. Weren't you doing hydroponics?
Mm-hmm.
You still doing
I do hydroponic and aquaponic. My dad has an aquaponic greenhouse. So his entire greenhouse is run off of Gambusia. He has a huge horse trough of Gambusia in there, and it all runs through that system. But that being said, since we're using this as, a way to fill in nutrients, fertilize the plants, and water the plants that we're growing, I have to be very cautious of what I put in my water, because whatever I put in my fish water, I'm going to end up ingesting and eating at some point.
Yeah.
So if there's like a bunch of crap in it that's not really listed, or they can't tell you what the source is, or say that, hey, I don't even want to. I'm not so much as to say it has to be organic, because I understand like the USDA organic and all of their little ways around all of that. But I want it to be something that either came from nature or breaks back down into something natural instead of something that's just lab made or lab created. If it is, I won't use it because I don't want to eat it.
Yeah,
I mean, essentially, it's if you wouldn't put it in a glass and drink it, I wouldn't put it in.
Exactly. And I mean, what are they doing? Like, you've been putting videos out on agriculture and stuff. We spray these pesticides on all of our crops, and then we wonder why there's an increase in cancer. And then it says, like you were saying, let's get organic food. Let's go organic food. It ain't no better.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about these growth hormones. We got the chicken. They're growing chickens. A chicken leg used to be like that.
Right.
These chicken legs are like this. It's like, how did it get that big?
Pumped full of steroids. They're getting the freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger of the chickens, pumping them up.
But you're 100% what you're saying. You got to be careful what you're putting in there, because I mean, you're going to feed this stuff to your kids too. Not that, in this day and age, what are we going to do about it? Unless you're doing to be a 100% off the grid homestead, stay home, grow your own vegetables, hunt your own meat, you're going to be exposed to this. I mean, the air you breathe.
Mm-hmm. But if you can even do so much as to where you're not exposed to it all the time, to just slowly lower that dependency on other things down, I mean, that's a step in the right direction. I mean, I'm definitely not going to sit here and preach to people that you have to stop everything that you're doing right now and go to this perfectly healthy diet, which it would be great, by the way, it would be, but that's a lot to change. There's, we've been told and sold for a long time that McDonald's is okay, that cereal has all of the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that your body needs. And we've bought it. We've bought into it and bought into the idea of it. Well, I was raised on freaking cereal like a lot of other kids from the late 80s and early 90s. And man, I remember being in school and having to evacuate my bowels constantly from how much cereal and milk I was eating and drinking at the time.
Well, I think I was in high school. They took a microscope and zoomed into I can't remember what cereal brand it was, but they took a microscope and zoomed in on it, and you could see all the little like iron, the metal sticking off of them. I can't remember, but you could see all the little things sticking off. They're microscopic to our eyes, of course.
Yeah,
Aiden
like
says,
the iron chelate, and
Aiden says it's crazy how people have all that money for filters and stuff budget tanks on top. I'm assuming he's saying like they put all this money into a sump or a nice filter and then get cheap tanks and put on top.
I mean,
Like
if I had to,
kind of like driving a truck, driving like a $500 pickup truck with an $8,000 four wheeler in the back.
Right. Or you have or a rat rod. Speaking of automobiles as well, you've got a $300 body with a $15,000 engine sitting in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I had to pick and choose on what I wanted to spend more money on, I would probably spend more of the money on filtration. If I was trying to make something something that looked good and I had a decent enough tank, I'd probably spend the money on the filtration over anything else. If I wasn't doing like the natural setups that I'm doing right now, freaking there I go, the natural setups that I'm doing. If I wasn't going that route, I mean, that'd be where I would be.
I get you. I did this little 10-gallon dirted tank, and I gotta say, I am really enjoying it. I do have a sponge filter that I used to help just with the bacteria. I had filled it with the sand from the 125, so it insta-cycled. But I just went ahead and put that sponge filter I used to like quick cycle tanks.
Yeah.
I only have cherry shrimp in there. I'm going to pull that sponge filter out, but I never have algae issues. The shrimp eat everything. I have a little bit of malm laying around, but then I even find them eating on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you got shrimp in there, they'll eat all that malm. That's just free food.
Yeah. And I feed that tank maybe 2 times a week with one little pellet or some fish food here and there. But the plants are fantastic. There's no algae building up on them. They're beautifully bright green and growing. And I had put some videos out because I think
chlorosis.
If you remember, Patty's Aquatics was saying that the only thing he said to watch out for is that is in his experience, because when I did it, I planted the roots right in the dirt before I sand capped it. And he was thinking it might burn the roots. But that was never an issue. But he adds something else to his dirt before he caps with his sand, or some kind of light brown powder he puts over his dirt to help with plants. I didn't do that. I just used organic soil and sand. I didn't add nothing else. So maybe that other stuff he put on was what was burning the roots. I can't remember what he said it was, but it's great. I never have to worry about it. Nitrates are like fucking. Oh, sorry. Nitrates are like.
Beep.
I think who was saying who was saying?
Well, it makes sense. I definitely get the logic that he's talking about there, because roots will seek out to find where a nutrient pocket or where nutrients are. That's why they grow, is because they're reaching out to try to find somewhere to soak something up. So once they find that something, they'll just stay there until everything from that is absorbed. Then it'll move along and find another spot. So I mean, I absolutely get what he's saying. If they're completely buried under there into a hot fertilizer, if your substrate, if that soil is hot, has fertilizer, compost, things like that in it, and the roots are constantly in it, it could do like some nice, some like just like with our plants, when our plants would melt, the leaves would melt. It'll do the same thing to the root systems if it's just too much. It's called you can get like nitrate burn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that absolutely is a thing. I've done it to terrestrial plants too. I've completely burned up terrestrial plants because the roots just had too much available, hot, ready to go fertilizer to them. So, I mean, that makes sense.
Well, maybe I was okay because it is just a 10-gallon tank. I think maybe
Yeah.
a couple inches of dirt.
And you didn't add a bunch of fertilizer and stuff to it. You're just running off of the organic soil.
Maybe that's why I was okay. And then I did take my little wooden skewer and go around and poke and burp it and get the air bubbles out.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, he was saying it was just upheaving his sand, and I did see it on his video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It started working its way up.
And that's what he was afraid of. He didn't want to break that seal, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. That gas bubble thing, it was debunked years ago. It being gas bubbles come out and being toxic to fish. I imagine it is a thing, but I would imagine it would have to be quite a bit of amount to cause an issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's more common to happen in very, very large lakes or where an estuary system. So where a river would meet into a lake, where a river would meet into an ocean, and you have like that
Your inlets.
Yeah, places like that are faster moving areas. Yeah, stagnant, it would have to be a pretty decent size. Because of if you can look all over the internet and see where this has happened. I mean, there's other bubbles that are coming out, but the actual toxic, like, what is it? I'm trying to remember what gas it is. Methane. Yeah, different methanes that are coming up. It can happen in a tank. I'm not going to say that it hasn't. I'm sure it has. I've even smelled a little bit of a funky smell, but it was usually because I did it wrong.
Or it was taco night.
Or it was it wasn't the tank at all. Yeah, babe, it was the tank. It wasn't me. Shh, just watch the movie.
That's prime. That's prime. You don't use prime.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the sulfur. Shh.
Yeah, June, I don't worry about I clean my sponges and stuff. I don't do my biofilter media, but I clean everything else with tap water now and the hoses. I've been doing that, and that has not crashed the tank yet. Primetime Aquatics did a video on that, and he was talking with a scientist that tap water will kill some bacteria, but it's not enough to be a problem. So I've been cleaning all my filter media with my tap water, and I don't have an issue. It cleans it better. It cleans it faster. Sometimes I get snails build up in them canister filters, and I'm not taking the time to pick them out. I just blast them.
Just spray them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Too much time. And I've been doing it in all these tanks, and guess what? They're all still good.
Yep.
Because it like I think it was who said that earlier? Somebody said, about the bacteria growing on all. Homer said bacteria grows on all surfaces. He's 100% right. It's not just a lot of it's in your filter, but a lot of it's in your substrate, on the rocks, on the glass, on the plants. You're not going to kill your bacteria by using tap water to worry about it. Garcia said to you, "Here's your sign, Tommy," for some reason.
I must have done something stupid.
Here's your sign, Tommy.
Give me just a second. My dogs are about to start fighting.
Oh. Here's your sign, Tommy. Replace it. That's right. Good morning, Big Steve's Glass Creation. Glad you dropped in, sir. See, Tommy, thank you so much for the present. I'll leave this up till he comes back, Garcia, and then we'll move on. I never used the bottom valve. Me either, June. Well, I do use the bottom drain valve on my FXs to drain it out just to make it lighter because I have to carry it from in here outside to the backyard, and it gets pretty heavy on the old back, especially the FX6s. But I just use it to drain. But you're probably onto something there, June. Um, never use it at all, and it'll never leak, right? But the only problem is if you have sand in your tank, sometimes that sand gets in there and still can cause a leak just from the water movement. Garcia says thank you for his present.
Oh, absolutely. You
Much-
deserve it, Berto. Boito.
He sent me a text right before I was about to start. Sent me a text saying he was apologizing that he couldn't come onto the stream, but he's on here anyways. He just can't stay away from us. He's going he's going to a swap meet or something to pick up a new Oscar.
And you're not going to come up and show all of that? The hell?
Yeah, when are you going to be back with that thing? When you text?
Yeah, he might be recording it for his own channel.
Oh, here you go, Tommy. Read this one.
Showers done. I was watching Tommy while I scrub myself. Now, oh, hold on. I have to say that slow and sultry.
On my 210s, I have.
Thank you, Craig. I'm flattered. Stop it.
Whip says on his 210 he has 3 canister fillers, an FX6 and 2 Marine and a 360. They have 4 hang on the backs and an Aquaclear 110 HOB and 2. Jesus H Whip. I mean, I get it, man, but that's
filtration.
That's a lot, bro. Aquarium large sponge filter too on the one. I mean, that's 210's a
He's
big
got
tank.
big
But
fish in that, though.
Oh, does he?
If it's the one that I'm thinking of that he was showing on his live.
Well, I would still imagine that the 3 canister filters alone would handle it. They're all FX6s. Well, an FX6 and 2 Marine Land 360. I would imagine those 3 canister filters would be plenty. I mean, to each their own. You do what you want. It's his tank. He might have found out he needed extra filtration to keep up with it. I don't know, but I feel like those 3 canisters would do it by themselves. But I always do like to have extra filters on tanks just for backup. If one quits, boom, you got plug it in, fill it up.
Yep. Yeah, my 37 gallon, the tall weird tanks, they're great for angelfish. I've run it on 2 sponges and that's it. But I do have a hang on the back on it because if something ever happens, or since it's a dirted tank, it's just like my contingency plan. It's my bigger, nicer fish, like my Denison barbs are in there, my Placosimus is in there. So it's a bomb of a tank as far as a load will go for the fish that I have. Those aren't like huge fish that are going to do it crazy, but any pleco over 10 inches is going to cause a heck of a load. So I keep that hang on the back. It's not on, but if I ever do need to turn it on, if I'm noticing like, hey, I forgot to vacuum the sand this month, because I don't do that a lot, like hardly ever. You'll probably never see me vacuuming a tank at all because I do it so rarely. But on that tank particularly, I do have to do it maybe once a month, once every couple of months, something like that. So if I don't and I miss that and I start seeing, the difference in the water, seeing the difference in the color or something like that, I'm like, okay, I need to turn this hang on the back on to kind of pick it up until I can get this done. Because, I mean, you notice something, just because you notice it right then doesn't mean you're going to be able to stop what you're doing right then and fix it. But if you can lower the impact by simply just plugging something in real quick, why not?
Yeah.
Because it may be half a day or a full day before you can actually get to doing that.
Well, he right under that message, he wrote this so that he has a bunch of particulates floating around. He can't stand it. So that's why he added the extra filtration. He wasn't concerned about the bacteria. That's the same thing I had on my Mbuna tank. Too many fish in there. I had to put extra filtration on.
Yeah.
Lube works.
Yes, it does.
Wow. Well, yeah. Look, even June's like, dang. Garcia's here. I have 2 FX4s for several years now. I think he means no issues yet.
Several years, no issues yet.
Nope, no pot scrubbers.
She's like, nope, 86 them pot scrubbers. That's not for me, y'all.
Yes, it is, because I was talking to her some time back, and she was saying how she liked packing her canister filters with pot scrubbers. So she's lying to me right now, and I can't believe it.
It's all for the face value. No, I'm just playing. Love you, June Mama.
My sump is a cat water dish.
Yeah, my only tank that I have no filtration on whatsoever. It's only like a 2.5 gallon tank. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the tank my rain tank. It's one that I made from just everything outside. I put some plants in it that were not, terrestrial plants. I put some crypts and stuff in it. Everything else.
Did you dechlorinate that rainwater with Prime?
Yeah, no, I dechlorinated it with bleach, ammonia, and hydrochloric acid. No, just put the stuff from outside in that tank, built it from stuff outside, rocks that were outside, dirt that was outside, all of it. And then let it fill up with the rain. And that is the tank that my cats drink out of. It's their favorite thing in the world. They'll climb up just to drink out of that tank. And I'm like, look, it doesn't rain a lot here. I can't keep refilling this up with rainwater when there's no rain.
Yeah.
It's like y'all are defeating the whole purpose of me having a rain tank here, kitty. Dang no cats.
Well, it's neat. It's cool to do stuff like that too, because you can filter it and have drinking water too. I heard that rainwater now has more acid in it than it ever has.
I would believe that. Our oceans are more acidic than they've ever been. They're becoming more and more acidic. Now, it's not by a lot, but if you were to, this is a very controversial statement, but there is some research on it. I'm convinced our oceans used to be freshwater up until a certain point, or at least close to it, like more of a brackish, and then slowly started working into becoming more saline. Because I mean, you can look at the salinity of the ocean water, years ago when they very first started recording it, which wasn't that long ago. I think we started actually recording weather and water, things like that. Jorge would know. What was it, like 60, 70 years ago, 80 years ago tops was when we actually started recording all of that. But I mean, you even look back to what the salinity of the ocean water was then and what it is now, and there's a couple degrees of difference there, a couple small tenths of saline percentage difference there, and it's definitely gone up.
Yeah, definitely. I can believe that. I like watching that thing on TV that Morgan Freeman narrates about. I can't remember the name of it. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's on Netflix.
Yeah,
they do a great job about that.
I don't know the name of it, but yeah, we watch a lot of nature shows.
Yeah, I saw that video. Fish Tank Aquatics. Foxy says hello. She came in. Appreciate you. Good morning. Good morning, John. I have 5 or 6 sponge filters running in my sump. That way I constantly have sponges ready to go. That's a good idea.
Smart.
That is a nice thing about sumps. You can put the heaters down there. You can do lots of stuff like that, like having sponge filters ready to go to insta-cycle a tank or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it leaves it to where you can just enjoy the tank or do whatever it is that you're working on the tank. Just focus on the background or the fish instead of having to focus on all of the wires and having to hide everything to come out of it and out the top, off the side.
Exactly. June said she tried the scrubbers, but the sponges pick up particles better in her setup. Good evening, Craig. Good morning.
I use a lot of little scrubbies. If what y'all are, make sure what y'all are talking about here.
I don't use charcoal either, June. I only use it to remove medication at this point.
But y'all are talking about these things, right?
Yep, pot scrubbers.
Yeah.
Dollar,
yeah. I've got like 5 packs of these in one sump.
Yeah. 1000E. I don't know what that is to American money. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. 1000E is nothing when you buy a big tank. Isn't that much with saltwater? I don't understand here. 1000E is nothing when you buy a new big tank. Isn't that much with saltwater?
Yeah. He was saying like what we were saying earlier. It's easy to spend $1,000 on a tank, and especially if you're getting into saltwater, $1,000 is nothing to getting,
Oh yeah,
compared to the average for getting one started and set up.
yeah. I will. I don't. I'm no thanks with the salt tanks. The coral alone, I could break you in the bank. Unless you're doing a small setup and a small tank. But if I'm going to have a saltwater tank, I want at least to be a 75 gallon. And if you're going to do the coral, like I think Ben Ochart was discussing that in Vibe Stream the other night, way too expensive.
I really liked Ben's short that he put out
About that YouTube thing
yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
About not worrying about anybody else and like letting your channel just be spontaneously you, just being you and how you are. I really liked that. I was like, yes, I'm starting to see more and more of these bigger channels saying that. And maybe it is because more and more of us are, showing that, hey, you can actually do it and people will follow it. Like, not that, we have a huge mass following, but.
Well, we won't. And I'm glad you brought that up because I enjoyed that too. And this goes into another subject I wanted to bring up on this live about the YouTube, show. And that just goes to show you that when you got these big channels, like us, we're all trying to get there. I mean, you're kind of there already. Honestly, you know how to easily get thousands and thousands of views. You're already over 1K by far. What are you, 1.5, 1.6 now?
1.7, almost 1.8.
Yeah. See, so we're all trying to get there. But now, if you look at this, these big channels are quitting because it seems like when you get there, it ain't worth it. Because YouTube ain't what it used to be. It used to go up there and it would be enjoyable and worth it. Now it's become a numbers game. And if you're not conforming and doing what they want, get the heck out of here. We ain't going to push your videos, whatever the case may be. So now you're demonetized. It's like it has become a full-time job. You might as well go to work.
Right. Yeah. Yep. It can be. It can be. Unless... Sorry, I didn't mute that. I've been good about doing that. Okay. Unless you do like what Ben was saying, or like from John from KG Tropicals was saying, and it's just being you, being yourself. Even Garcia did a stream on this. What was it, last week? Was talking about that. Being yourself, not being a copycat, not trying to copy what other people are doing, but just finding what makes you unique and running with that. Because eventually other people are going to run out of ideas, which means you have no ideas to copy off of. So then you're going to have to search inside and find, what it's going to be, which I'm not saying, and I'm not going to sit here and say that what I have or what I'm doing is unique, because it's not in any way. I'm just freaking crazy. And when I get a wild hair and I'm like, hey, I could put that on a video, or I want to share this, or this is funny. And this may be something that 10 years from now, I want my kids to be able to see or remember about. So I'll record it.
Yeah. I mean, any one of us, if we wanted to, we could get big on YouTube. You just got to have half naked women, or you got to be causing controversy. You would know that as of recent. Mm-hmm. And then you'll get up there and people will subscribe to you, and pretty soon you'll be monetized. All you got to do is cause issues, cause drama, have half-naked chicks. There's no talent in it. It's very easy to do. I could do things like
something to complain about, and they will complain.
Yep. People enjoy negative more than positive now, and I just don't want. I would rather scrape the bottom of the barrel until I get up there this slowly as I am, than do that to get up there and like almost like cheating in a negative way, so to speak.
Sometimes it's the most mundane, innate things too. Like what you were talking about with me, that video about a freaking apricot seed, and like people were trying to, I'm not going to get into what they were trying to do, but they were trying to paint me out to definitely be something that I am not in any way, shape, or form, or stand for in any way, shape, or form, and can't even say the word. But yeah, I mean, people just, depending on what it is, they'll take it so many different ways, and usually for their own benefit or whatever feeling they had or emotion that they're feeling at the time, and try to relate it to that and be like, oh, you hate this, or you hate me because you said this. It's like, no, this stuff isn't personal. I mean, this is just like, especially with me, like some of it is. I will admit, some of the videos that I have out there are personal. Those are like personal for somebody in particular. Some of them aren't. Not enough of them are personal. There's like just maybe one or two of them that were specifically targeted at somebody. But most of them, it's just trying to open a perspective, open a new perspective. It's like, hey, this is what we've all heard all along. This is what we've all been told, but here's a different perception on this. Here's a different way to look at this that might open your mind to something completely different. It doesn't mean that you have to open your mind to this, but maybe it'll get the gears moving to where it, you know, opens you up to something new, some new way to do something, or a new way to figure something out, or God forbid, a new way of thinking that you've never even thought before.
Yeah, absolutely. I always enjoy your stuff.
Thank you.
Craig's was saying he got 2 big tanks for $50 in June once. So that's vague. I want gallons or liters, please. I got a cough. I'm not muting it.
Yeah, get that mute hotkey set.
Paul Newman, around 10 grand. Yeah, and I imagine if we all sat around and if we kept our receipts, if we didn't, we just estimated. Oh, yeah. I didn't. I don't want to know.
I did for a long time when I first got into it, because I was like, I want to see how much I'm putting into this. And once one of the drawers in our buffet completely filled up with fish receipts, I was like, That's when I found the natural way of doing things and using the dirted substrate and only keeping fish that can, you know, are easy to handle in systems like that. It was like, I'm saving as much money as I can now. F it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And at one point you almost get like, you know, for me, I don't know why. For me, it's fish food. I have
fish food's my biggest. Yep.
I love to get fish food and collect the fish food, make sure I have enough on hand and mix them and try different things. And for me, it's the fish food. Before you know, it's like, I got all this goddamn fish food. And I just don't, it's going to take me forever to get through this dang fish food. It's probably going to go bad first.
Go
like,
bad.
So,
you'd be like, what is that smell in my fish room? Is that the tank? Oh, it's expired bug bites.
Yeah. This is funny here. Word has got out in my small town. If you want to get rid of the fishy stuff, I will take it.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies drop popping back in. What is 500 liters to gallons?
What would that be? 125, 125, 130, something like that?
Hey, Google. What is 500 liters in gallons?
500 liters is equal to 132.086 liquid gallons.
Close.
132. 132 gallon tank, 2 of them for $50. It's pretty sweet.
Score. Score.
I don't like Alexa. I like Google.
Well, if you're on a Fish Fam link, you could just, what is it? I don't know. There's a command for converting.
Oh, look, right here. She's trying to deny it again, Tommy. Laugh my ass off. No way, pot scrubbers. Biohome is what I use. Don't listen to her. She's making up stories. We all know June uses pot scrubbers just like Ben Ochart loves tiger barbs. Oh, 600. 600 liters?
So 80 gallons, 75, 80 gallon, 75 gallons? No, it'd be more than that. It'd still be over.
Hey, Google. How many
that'd be about right.
gallons is 600 liters?
600 liters is equivalent to 158.503 liquid
158 gallons. What did he say earlier? 100 or
1,000.
so did I.
Your AI is weird, man. No.
He said 500 liters, and he meant 600. So he's got a couple hundred. He basically got a couple 150 gallon tanks for $50.
Yeah, that's really good.
You know what makes me mad about Craig? He gets these deals. He has access to all the jungle valve in the world, and he won't send me any. He's a hoarder, and he's selfish.
A horrible person. Take
Horrible
notes.
I don't care if it's
Okay.
going to cost you $100 to send me a box of jungle valve.
Lynch him. Down with that sort of thing.
Thanks for cheap comparison. My 210 cost me $600 on sale. See, again, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars. I mean, a brand new 210-gallon tank, let's say made by Marineland. What do you think you're going to spend for that? Couple $1,000s. I seen this beautiful 500-gallon acrylic I want so bad on the Facebook market site, but they still want $5,000 for that. Because as far as my future plans in my room, the only other thing I want to do is get rid of this dining room table and put a monster tank right in the center. 3 or 500-gallon tank would be awesome.
I showed my wife that video of you talking about that, and she was like, yeah, you wouldn't be married anymore.
That's what my wife said. Women think alike.
Yep.
Now, recently she did say I can do it if I knock this one wall down because she wants that open, the kitchen open to the living room anyways, and then I can make like a eat-in. We already have an eat-in kitchen, but we don't use it. But she wants me, if I do that and take this wall out and we can move it, she'd be fine with that.
Oh, okay.
I either thought about
she gets something good out of it too, some work out of you.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
So I'd either want to do a monster tank or I'd like to get one of them big 300-gallon or 500-gallon ponds and put it right in the center. Just
right.
like a big indoor pond or something.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be really cool to have.
Yeah,
I want an outdoor pond though. I think that'd be. I mean, I have an outdoor pond, but it's just a rain catch. It's not a full-time pond that I'm actually maintaining or anything like that.
Yeah.
But an interactive koi pond that you could just jump in and swim with the koi.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? If you had the money to do it, who wouldn't?
Clean my toes.
Yep.
I like this. Whip says pet stores are like drug dealers. They give you the tank and then they got you.
Yeah. Get you hooked.
I got to get caught up on chat here. I buy them. Depends on never used heaters. Depends, never used heaters. Oh. I like the new smell.
Mm-hmm.
Never leaked once. Whip got an FX6 for $180 plus tax 3 years ago on Black Friday. Oh, God. Excuse me a minute. I have to get a cough drop.
I'll see where he's at. I'm catching up. Got to come back over here. I haven't actually got to say hi to everybody yet anyway, so this will give me an opportunity to. Funk's going live. Or is live.
Yeah, get caught up. Man, still got a little bit of that cough left over.
There's several people in here. Lots that I didn't get to say hi to.
Lady Shimmy Shimmy showed up. Garcia's better half. Hello.
Welcome in.
Yeah, Big Steve, me too. But you know what I do, man? The first time I get to use tank before I do anything, I bring it home. If I can't get them to fill it up and show me it's not leaking, I will purchase it. I'll bring it home and I'll fill it up with water and let it sit even for 2 days. And if it doesn't leak, then I go ahead and disinfect and clean and set it up. I think KG Traveler did a video on buying used tanks. A lot of his are used, and he never worried about resealing or nothing. There's never had issues. I'm not saying it can't be an issue because it definitely can, but I find that out way before I bring it in. I'm patient about it. I take my time. And this 175 I got for free. They used it for a reptile thing, so I made sure I disinfected it and made sure it didn't leak. And it's other than some milky white glass that you can't clean up unless you replace the panel, which I'm not doing. It still looks good, and it was free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's only one size tank that I really won't that size and under. I won't buy them used, and that's because I have before, and every single one of them started leaking within a few months, and that's 10-gallon and under. It's just because they're so abused.
Exactly.
Like the most heavily abused tank that's out there is a 10-gallon.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, 'cause you can pick them up, move them anywhere. You drop them, you set them down too hard, or they're uneven, or you put them. You know, some people with these rim tanks, they'll go ahead and put them on foam. You don't need to do that with rim tanks. That's what the plastic rim is for. As a matter of fact, if you set a rimmed tank on a piece of foam, the foam is going to conform, and it actually starts putting pressure on the bottom glass because it squishes it down, and then the foam pushes up and puts pressure on that bottom glass. They recommend not doing that. Yeah, happy birthday, Funk. If you're still in here, I meant to say that.
He's on his live stream now.
Okay. High temps get the Oscars busy. Yeah, I did see a notice since I did put the heaters back in. All my fish were a lot more active, and I think that's a good thing. I know certain fish need the right temperature, mainly to keep their immune systems up to par, like betas. But I don't know. I had a female beta before I got a heater in this 10-gallon down here, and the water was like below, like 70 degrees, 69 degrees, and she's fine. But I did put a heater in there for her. It's a little cool for a beta. Nah, clowns will live in the 80s, Whip says. Okay. Shimmy. Have they discolored? Has what discolored, Jude?
Oh, you're way behind. Because I remember when she wrote that. I think she was talking about your media that you put in, the bigger ones, not the biohome, but the bigger, larger ones.
No, they have not. I mean, of course, they're a little bit darker because they got some debris and crap on them, but they're not discolored. They're still white. That is one thing. Now, Patty's Aquatics, he will even rinse his bio media with tap water. That I can't bring myself to do. I just do everything else.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you don't do that, you preserve as much bacteria you can on the biofilter media because you've rinsed everything else off with tap water. At least that's something to help reseed things again.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's water is different too. I mean, obviously, if you have so much chlorine in your water that you can smell it, probably wouldn't want to do that. But if you don't, I mean, a lot of it's going to gas off. And if you're worried about it, just stick it in like everybody else says, I'll repeat it. Stick it in a bucket for half a day or a day. Let it gas off a bit before you rinse it out in tap water.
Yep. I don't have that.
Go for it.
Whip says that's what Creek does, Salient. He ignores my text like I'm an ex-wife. I'm trying to get caught up in chat here. Good morning, Jenna. Thanks for coming in. Foxy, he doesn't ignore mine. That's because you're a girl. That's a fantastic philosophy, Tommy. Keeping things natural is always the best, most desirable thing. Absolutely. I mean, I can't say too much. I do use products, but I do use city water. I have to dechlorinate it. And I do like my canister filters. But other than that, like when it came to my plants, I didn't even use fertilizers for a long time. Naturally, they were growing. But since I have been using Easy Green, they have gave them a boost, and that's what I wanted. That jungle bow and crips I got off you and all them plants I bought off you, Tommy, they're still banging and getting bigger and bigger every day.
Nice.
Let me grab this camera.
Heck yeah, I love hearing that. Love hearing that. I know, Whip.
Let me bring this up.
What was that? Oh, it was just Jesse. Shh. Oh, heck yeah, those are looking pretty good. They spread out. Yeah, that val is tall. Dude, that stuff grows so fast too. So fast. If you're talking, we can't hear you. Oh yeah, that's been spreading too. See all the new bits of Val coming up in through. That's spread really good.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We'll do it this way. I'm gonna take you over here and show you these other plants. That mermaid weed you gave me, however, it died. It didn't last.
Oh really? Yeah. You had to try it though.
Oh yeah. Here's one of your crypts. This has got a little bit of algae. Here's a crypt here. Jungle Bow.
Nice.
It's all through here. That's all Jungle Bow from you.
Dang, it spread that much? Heck yeah.
See that one in the back there that's coming up?
Uh-huh.
Coming up behind the heaters. You know how they work. They trace off or whatever. They what is that called? They create the
The little runners.
runners.
Yeah.
And I love jungle. Jungle Bell's probably got to be my favorite plant.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it a lot. There's some of the smaller plants that I really like Crypt parva, things like that are the smaller sizes, the Anubiuses, just for adding in little bits. But ultimately, yeah, like Val and swords are hard to beat. They're really hard to beat in a tank.
You can split them off. You can put them in any tank. They're going to take off. It makes the tanks look so nice. It gives hiding spots. It breaks lines of sight. There's just so much to it. I love, and it's easy to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I think Selena was in here. No, so a friend of mine on TikTok that I made friends with over there said that hers she can't grow it, and I don't understand why.
Bare bottom tank.
She says, I don't purchase hormone-enhanced chickens. If you can raise your own chickens and think crossbreeding is a typical breed with an American breasty chicken they produce. That there's one for Tommy. Looks like you hear something, man.
I was talking to my son.
Oh.
He was trying to weasel over and pop up in. He just woke up. I'm in our room. He usually his morning he'll wake up, come in here and start watching Sunday or something like that on TV. So he's staring at me like, when do I get to watch TV, Dad?
Oh, are you taking the spot up?
No, I'm not taking his spot up. I'm in a little corner, but he doesn't want to turn the TV on while I've got this going because he'll have it way too loud.
Hey, I mean, it's been coming up on an hour and a half. If you need to go, you feel free to go anytime you want. I certainly
He can get over it. Life is disappointment. I think he just flipped me off though.
that one from Lady Beef up your alley. I don't keep chickens.
Yeah, and that's something I was going to say because we were talking about like the whole organic versus inorganic. If you really want to be certain, grow it yourself, raise it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Same with
even if it's just something like this that's microgreens. So like these are the shoe boxes. I have it double stacked because I have a whole nother set germinating underneath. But microgreens like broccoli, lettuces, radish, things like that, and you grow them for depending on what kind of seed it is, 10 to 18 days, 10 to 20 days, and you have all of this, and each individual leaf, each individual piece is an entire plant. It's so packed with nutrients. You get the amount of nutrients that you would get from I wasn't flipping you off, from the entire plant growing just out of that little bit.
So will you take that outside and plant it in the ground?
No. Actually, either today, I think tonight, I'm going to trim all of this and all of that's going to go in a salad. What doesn't go in the salad, I'm going to dry out, put in a bag, and then put in the refrigerator and use within the next day or two. But I mean, that is a lot of vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients that people need. Like I started that because of the whole, SHTA, survival situation. It's like, you're not going to be able to grow crops in time in a survival situation to make it worthwhile, but you can grow microgreens. You can always find food for a week or two somewhere, even if you have to forage for a week or two until you have microgreens growing, and then you're rolling in it.
You got a video on that?
Mm-mm. There's a lot of them out there.
Mhm.
The urban farmer Curtis Stone is who I very first started following. All of his stuff now is like very conspiratorial, but his old videos are all about urban farming, being able to farm and even create a living, make a living out of farming. Even make a living out of these. There's people that make $1,000 a week having 3 racks growing microgreens and selling them to restaurants because they use it in like pho and stuff like that.
Right.
Or vegan restaurants, if those are around, which there's none around here. So it's like not even a possibility, a commercial, unless I was traveling to send a lot further. But it's, there's always a way.
Yeah, that's cool. I like salads.
Mhm.
June says 100% beef means they use 100% of the cow for our burgers.
yeah. And what does all natural mean? Like, seriously, was it made on this planet from things on this planet? Then I guess it would be considered natural. Cyanide is natural. Hydrochloric acid is natural. It doesn't mean you want to eat it.
Yeah, June. Me too, June. I only use them for quarantine tanks. Well, I can't say that. I do have 3 running right now. One's a dirty tank. I like a 10-gallon tank. They're okay, but
Ooh, the fluffy ones, Foxanne. Yeah, the frizzles or the other one. I can't remember their name. It's the one I have. It's because it's not a frizzle. The ones that actually have hair. It's insane. You ever seen that? A chicken that has hair? It doesn't have feathers.
are you
Has
talking
hair?
silkies?
Silkies, yes. There you go. Yep. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But yeah.
My wife wanted to get 1 or 2 for a little bit. Then she kind of changed her mind. They are cool.
They're very cool. And they will become a pet almost instantly. The first time that you pet them, you're like, this isn't feathers. It's like having a little fluffy butted puppy. They're really cool.
I see June don't even use the valve to drain. She just takes the out hose off and then just runs it and
Oh, there you go.
closes the inlet, opens it, keeps the outlet open.
Everybody got me. It's like I'm the chicken guy and the one that couldn't remember the name. Yeah, I love the chickens. Some of them are just annoying, and at this point, I'm like asking my wife pretty much every week, babe, can you get rid of these things?
Yeah.
Just depends on which one. I have one flock of Rhode Island Reds. They're production reds. They're not like the really dark, deep red. So they're like the lighter, almost like the orangish color. More like the color of my shirt, not like the dark brick. And every time a quail gets out, if a quail does get out, they attack it, they eat it, and they leave nothing behind. Like we'll just find a quail skeleton in their coop, and I'm like, oh God, not another one. That was my food. You're eating my food.
Well, Whip, blah, blah, blah. Whip's saying it's totally overfiltered, and he still has particulates floating. It helps. I wonder if filter Whip should think about maybe a skimmer
Yeah.
to help with that particulates. Maybe a skimmer instead of all that filtration.
Unless it's particulates in the water, just like sand being mixed up constantly in the water. I don't think a skimmer is really going to help with that unless it's up at the surface.
Yeah.
Pickled quail eggs.
I'm trying to figure out why it has so much particulates in this water with that much filtration. Maybe it's because of the filtration. And do you clean your filters out? Maybe the filters are spewing it back in.
I've got my 37 I was talking about always has a lot of particulate in it too. I think it's just because the amount of fish that are in it or the size of the fish. and the Pleco kicks up a lot in itself.
That's 67 biweekly water changes. But are you cleaning the filters? Whip.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Whip. Do you use fine sponges? I have them at the top of the canisters. Makes it easy. Yeah, I do that, June. I put pre-filters on a couple of my canisters because, you know, the Oscars and the Mbunas are always digging the sand up. So the pre-filters help.
Thank you.
Definitely help.
You'll be able to come in here in a few
Take this down and sand out of the filters. Yeah, Whip. I contacted Aquarium Co. up to see if their pre-filters would. I gave them the measurements I needed for my intake on my canister, and they don't make one that's long enough. But I'll tell you who does. Go to PetSmart and go to Top Fin. Go get Top Fin pre-filter. It's not as coarse and it's tall enough.
Sorry, wrong button.
Oh, I thought somebody else was coming in there for a minute.
No, I hit the wrong button. I was trying to mute and hit the wrong hotkey.
Whip, is Whip still in here?
Yeah, Whip's still in here.
Um,
So I think it's coming from the driftwood. There's a ton of algae growing on it, and it gets dislodged when these 15-inch fish go by or when I do water changes.
Okay. Whip, I put the link in the chat. If you want to come up and show us your tanks or whatever, I can I'll remove this one. If you want to come up and share your tanks, man, I know you've been trying to go live and it hasn't been working out for you. If you're still in the chat, come on up, hang out with us.
Heck yeah. We love us some Whip. Whip, 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 whip.
So with my turtles, I had to clean the filters every week compared to every 6 months with the Oscars. I heard turtles are pretty dang filthy.
They're so cool, though.
Yeah. Oh, I love them.
I'd rock with a turtle.
They're swimming around like this in the tank. Don't have no care in the world.
We have a lady here local in town that has some big old ones. I mean, these things are so big you can lay across them. So that's really, really neat.
Very
They've
cool.
been family members for decades to these people.
Yeah. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. But he says I ran a saltwater local fish store for years, and he highly recommends sumps. Yeah, sumps are what, you know, Ben Ochart will call them the king of the filtrations. I get the idea and practicality behind them. They are sweet, but as far as drilling tanks, I'm not going to drill my tanks. I'm not going to buy a drilled tank. If I get a big tank, a lot of them are pre-drilled. I'm going to get bulkheads to seal them so I can put some canister filters underneath. So I get it. I hear they're awesome. I don't have no experience with them, but I get it. I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
Udef? I'll try. I'll embarrass myself.
Well, I appreciate you dropping in anyways and stopping by.
Yeah. Welcome.
Sharing your experience. This canister filter spot on. Thank you, sir. Which reminds me, 11 a.m. here in about less than 30 minutes. I always put a video out following my live stream now, and I did put a video out about my first ever full fish room tour. I actually took some time and went around to each tank and showed my processes a little bit. It wasn't as long as I thought it was going to turn out to be. So
you could have let me do a voiceover on it, and then it could have been like, I'm doing a fish room tour at your place.
well, yeah, we'll do that for the. That's what I did, man. I did it that way. I did voiceover.
Dude, sometimes that's a lot easier. Like I'll record video and audio of something, and then I'll go back and be like, what was I even thinking? I was just trying to fill up empty space by saying nothing. So then I'll just go back and do a voiceover on it.
Yeah, it's fun to do. You just go around, take a bunch of video. And while I'm doing it, I point at stuff and tap stuff, just so when I'm going back through, I can say, "Yeah, and here." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do that stuff. You got to think ahead sometimes. When you make, the one of
You
those,
give yourself like clues in the video, like you'll have like make a sound or put a finger or like do like like that for pause. Like this is where I need to pause to, set in a transition or something like that, or like to cut out. Like
Yeah. I don't do that. I just go with it and I get lucky. But like the one I always forget, like if I want to say, if you want to check this video out here, I always forget to do that. So you know what I mean?
This video out here. Wait, where, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do those because of that, because I would definitely forget that.
I every time, like I like doing that, but I always forget to go. And if you check this video out right here, I never give myself that open spot to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what you're doing, you can do a 75 gallon without too much investment. Yes, sir. You can do any tank without too much investment if you're patient.
Mm-hmm. I can make a tank right now to where the only investment I have is the fish.
And you're
actually no, would be just the gas to go catch the fish out of the creek or river.
Yeah. Yeah, and your time, yeah. It's just all if you're not like lighting. I can't say anything because I have some expensive lighting. I love Fluval's Aqua Sky lights. I love them. They're so programmable. You can put up to 50 lights on one app, and you can control them from anywhere. Well, I mean, you still got to be within Bluetooth range. But
these are the lights that I use.
Yeah, and that's all you got to do. It doesn't have to be. You can make a light out of You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You don't have to spend $280 for a freaking light.
Yeah, these are just grow lights. It's a T5 LED essentially, but they daisy chain. It's full spectrum. Yeah, full spectrum. And dude, lights have come so far. It is, I will say it, F these fish companies that are still charging that much for a light when the technology's there that you can buy the same stuff without all the fancy program. Some of them are programmable, or you can put an exterior timer on them that costs $30 instead of spending $300. Mm-hmm. That technology's there to where, like, that light that I just showed you will outperform the Fluval Sky.
Yeah.
All day, and it was $9.
Yeah, it's just LED.
And I can connect as many of them up as I want to each other.
Yeah,
I can do a whole fish room on one plug with those.
Yeah, they're linkable, and you can even get the LED lights with the sticky backing, and have the different colors if you want for a heck of a lot cheaper. You're right. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. It's just all what people want to do, is what they want to buy. You know, how lazy are you? How not lazy are you? There's a lot of factors. Some people just like to have the coolest things.
Well, and you have companies and other people selling you on saying, oh, this is the only thing that's good. If you're growing these plants, you have to have this. No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah. And June makes me mad. She's got a 420 gallon tank.
That does not surprise me.
Well, when you're keeping the Oscars.
Or if you're June.
Yeah. Indeed, I'll second that. Which world I had a 14.
Is Whip backstage?
Oh yeah, cool. Whip was saying that when 10-gallon saltwater tanks go bad, they go bad fast, and he was agreeing with him. Let's add him up here.
Hey, Whip.
I think he was sitting there for so long, he finally sat down and said, I'm about to just go away.
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the bad boy. You can't see in there because everything's on timers. But this log here is probably from tip to tip about 3.5 feet. And, that's 30 inches top to bottom.
Yeah.
So it's a big piece of wood. And it, like, you can't see it in the dark, but there is a lot of algae that grows on that thing. And every time, like, the fish, that's an Oscar, but they're all freaking out because I got the camera on them again. The Oscar's 15 inches at least. The pike has got to be 12 to 14. There's a Jack Dempsey in there. They dislodge everything all the time, and then there's this crap floating. I mean, it looks like the Amazon, where they
Back
They're
up.
recording after they walk through, and all that junk is just floating around. I hate it, and I have that FX6 on there trying to help out. I can't get into these anymore. This tank is so heavy; it's over a ton, and it has crushed this framework down onto the doors, and the doors don't open anymore. So I can't. Those canister filters in there, the Marineland 360s. I don't think I've cleaned them in 5 years, maybe 6.
You're like, they're running until they die.
Right. I mean, they may not be working at all, one day, and I won't know it till I do a water change. But they still spew water, which you might be able to see. Unfortunately, it's just too dark down here. But
Yeah. Well, I wonder if that's some of the reason you're getting particulars because you can't get to them canister filters and they're just spewing shit back in your tank.
it could be, but it doesn't seem like it's coming from there. Unless it's going in when I'm not looking, and it seems to come up off the substrate more often than not. Like the fish will get spooked, and they'll, how they dart from one side to the other, and all this
Mhm.
little fluffy stuff comes floating up. And I know I do 2 huge water changes every week. Like this is Saturdays I do them, and then Wednesday night I do them. And I've got one that's emptying, and I got one that's filling. And once I hit like the midway point, I'll turn on the fill, but I'll still keep the drain going. So I figure, 60%, maybe 70%. 70 is probably pushing it, but it's at least 60% water change twice a week. And I just can't get the crap out of there. It's just very frustrating.
Hey.
I mean, I know you can't see it, but there's stuff floating right there. It's just kind of bopping around the bottom of the thing.
For that reason, I have a fleece filter on my bigger marine tanks. So you catch all the dirt out of it. Over
I
time.
didn't copy that.
I got a fleece filter on my bigger marine tank. That's just 100 gallon. What you're looking right now, that's the quarantine tank. But when you run a fleece filter, what we usually have in the marine stuff, you get all the dirt out. Even when you got Oscars.
And what kind of
But
filter
yeah,
is that?
expensive. It's a fleece filter.
Fleece.
It's made fleece, yeah, wet. I'll show you.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming he's saying FREE.
Fleece.
Fleece. Yeah,
Like freeze, like I'm cold. Freeze, you're
Freeze.
under arrest.
fleece, like the clove.
Fleece.
Fleece.
Fleece, like the sheep.
Yeah. That's my fleece filter
Okay, I never
Like
heard
for-
of
on my
that.
big tank.
Fleece with polyfill. Yeah.
Yeah.
How often you got to clean that polyfill? Because that's got to be getting clogged
None.
up every day.
No. That's the clean side. That's the dirty side back there.
I don't see
Hmm.
any.
The lightning,
Okay.
it's terrible in here.
Yeah, that's even worse than mine.
Yeah, it's my technic room behind my tank, so got the light on now.
Oh yeah.
So that's the
Okay,
fleece
yeah, I was
filter,
wondering if it was a roller. Okay, yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
the
I
reason
bet
for the
that
sun.
would.
That takes everything out. I got some gobies. They dig all day long in my substrate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And it's not even a matter of having to worry about cleaning the fleece or the poly. You just
Just change it.
rolls into a different clean spot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Super efficient.
that's how you get all the floating stuff out. I had that problem before I got it.
Very cool.
Yep, that's cool. And that's the name of the brand or the type of filter?
Tiling, it's the brand, and
Brand.
it's a roller filter or fleece filter.
Yeah, very cool. One question for you, Whip. What is your plan for getting access back under there? Like how you going to take that tank off and fix that?
Yeah, I have grand plans here. Like I have, I can give you a little spin around here. It's a 55 that's going to be replaced by a 150 high. So same footprint, only deeper and taller.
Mhm.
And then that's a 55. Wow, that was really fast. Sorry about that.
That's right.
That's going to be a 150 high. And then this is a 150 high that is going to be doing the replacing. And I have a 120 that's going to sit here. Oh, did we lose everybody? Oh, there
No.
we go.
He's trying to maximize you. There you go.
Oh, there you go. And then that's a 90, or that's a 75 that's going to be replaced by a 90. And then as you can see right here, I had a stand built for me. Probably, well, it's definitely been 3 years ago. And unfortunately, I'm here kind of by myself. My wife is here, but she's a very small person.
Okay.
And she can't really help me. And
Right.
when my son passed away, he was really my only help. So I don't really have anybody to help me move that big sucker over there. So I'm kind of stuck. I'm just going to have to break down and ask people to come over and help me and,
Well, you know what?
drain it out and, get it empty so I can get it over there. And then I can finally get it under there. I'm going to trash this. This is a PetSmart stand.
Yeah.
I can't believe, half-inch, whatever kind of wood that is. I don't even know if it's real wood. Can hold up over a ton of tank that has been there that long. But it has. It just I can't get in there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know what, Whip, you've helped a lot of people out. I mean, what you did with KG Tropicals and stuff, I think people owe you some help.
I was going to say the same thing. You're going to have to do what John did and recruit a team.
Yeah. I'm so far out here. The only people that are out here are Johnny No Shoes is out here, but he's beat up worse than I am. So I went to two old beat up dude trying to move that big old tank. I think it'd go bad in a hurry.
Yeah.
Isn't he a guard at a prison?
Not a prison. I think it's a home improvement store of some kind, either Lowe's or a Home Depot, or I could be wrong on that. I mean, I have never.
Dang, he could get some community service out of him with that.
Yeah, right. Get a couple. I don't even know what they're called, but yeah. Get rid of their orange bags, and they can come over here and move a tank.
Yeah. Tell them I'll bring the beers. They'll be there.
But yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna separate some of these fish out of here and make it strictly soft South American, and then like that one will be Central American, and that one will be Asian. And if I have space, I might do a North American tank once everything's moved around. That right there is just a tub for guppies. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing with it. They just keep breeding and breeding and breeding. There's a million of them in there, but I have nothing to unless I'm going to feed
You
them
got
off or
Oscars.
something. Yeah, right. I could do that, but I'm kind of a puss when it comes to causing the demise of another living creature.
Yeah.
You and me, I'm the same
So-
way. Whip. I have trouble killing a fly, man.
Yeah. So Whip, there's a saw that may help you, but it also may hinder as well. As long as the tank itself isn't sitting and using your doors as structural support right now, you could get. Have you ever heard of the oscillating saws? They're like just the saws that have a really flat. Here, I'll show you a picture of one. Real quick.
Yeah.
It's
No, I know
a
what they are.
vibrating saw.
Yeah, you could run that across the top of the doors and shave off enough to where you could access and open those doors up.
The problem is with the first part of your statement. I don't know
If it's
if
using
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously it's crushed down on there pretty hard. You can
that may be
almost
all
make
that's
out a little
hold
bit.
it up.
I tried to open this one up. I tried to force it out, are open, and it just started actually pushing the main board here, this board, in instead.
Oh,
See, like it's
yeah.
a
Let's
little
not do
loose.
that.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
like,
a full wood stand or not?
it's what?
It's fully made of wood, except the screws, or not? Just stand.
Yeah, it may not be real wood though. It might just be that composite stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
what they actually made it out of. You know how
I,
like when they get wet they fall apart?
yeah, it
Yeah,
crumbles.
the compressed wood,
Yeah.
compressed
I
sawdust.
wouldn't trust a wooden stand on a big tank.
You
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
There's
I mean
plenty of.
this thing has been here 10 years. I think it's held up for 10 years. It's just the last 4 years I haven't been able to
Yeah.
open the door. 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been. I didn't mark it down, so it could. I can't remember when it was that they. Hey, what happened?
I build all my own stands for my tanks. My heaviest ones are 125s. It's not like Whip's got, but if you build them right, my stands could hold 2 125s. I built them
Mhm.
sturdy.
There's nothing wrong with wood if you use the right wood. If you build it with actual 2x4s and 2x6s, it'll last forever. It's just this composite board that I should have never trusted it in the first place. But like I said, it's been holding this tank for 10 years, at least 10 years.
Yeah.
It
maybe
served its
12.
purpose.
Yeah, it did. And my buddy has a forge, and he built me these two stands. They match, and they're made out of they're steel with wooden
Angle
doors.
iron.
Yeah, not
Nice.
angle iron, it's tube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
That looks good. I like your basement. I'm assuming that's your basement, Whip. Looks nice.
yeah, it's my basement. It could be a lot cleaner, but I'm just really lazy. And then once this tank leaves, once I get this tank over there, I have what is now filled with cactus because it got too cold outside for them. But that's a 7 by 5 foot pond with an island in the middle, which you'd be able to see if I would clean it up. But and that's going to go here, and I'm going to put my arowana in it so he has some room to move around.
Yeah.
But right now he's only like 4 inches long, so he's good in the breeder.
That's very
Are you
good.
gonna put something over the pond to keep him from jumping out of it?
Yeah, the plan is I'm gonna build
Plexi.
30-inch stand from there to there, 4 feet from the wall out, and 4 feet from there out, and then whatever it is to match the height of the tanks, I'm gonna build like walls on either side with a plexiglass across the front, or glass, whatever's cheaper at the time when I get to it.
Hey, Whip, turn your phone sideways.
What's that?
Turn your phone sideways.
You think it'll work? Oh, look at that.
Full screen, baby.
Sometimes it doesn't flip; it just turns me sideways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Mine
know
will
what
do
the
that
difference
too.
is, but
It's like the auto rotate on the phone is messing up sometimes.
yeah. Geez, I could have been doing that the whole time.
Yeah, I know on mine, if I turn it to the right, it won't do it. But if I turn it to the left, I'll get full screen every time.
If the moon is
But
in
yeah.
retrograde and you have your left eyebrow in the right position, it might work.
And you gotta have it
Right.
right. Those tanks look great. Love the basement, Whip. I'm super glad that you came up too, man. And you decided
That looks
to come.
amazing.
I want to put let's put up Homer here for a little bit.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm actually going to drop down because I got to finish
No, you're
up
not.
my
No,
water
you're
change.
You're not dropping out. All right, I'll let you go. Thanks for coming up, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Whip.
Bye.
Much love, man.
See you guys later. Thanks for the tips there. Person whose name I cannot pronounce.
Yes, sir. All right, Homer, is
That's the clown trigger tank
Okay.
with Homer in it. He's begging for food again. Bankfish.
Sehr gut.
Oh, great! I can talk German too. Nice.
They're always fun to-
Mein Deutsch ist sehr elementaris. Very.
Hey, so schlecht
Very.
ist es nicht. I'm from Austria.
Oh, okay.
Glad to have you up. So how many tanks do you have? What is this your biggest or what is this?
That's my biggest. That's the whole system with the 100-gallon biofilter. Yeah, 400 gallon.
Oh wow.
That's my big one. Then I got the 100-gallon. That's my quarantine. Then I got an anemone cube with 2 clowns, a cylinder tank, almost ceiling height, and 2 guppy breeding tanks. And a Malawi cichlid tank in the living room. That's just my bedroom.
June says that she loves that fish.
Yeah, she loves Homer.
Good
Homer.
size. Yeah, they're cool. Can we get can you zoom out? Can we see the hole? I want to see the hole of the tank if you don't mind.
The panels are not cleaned. You don't want to see a thing.
Oh, I
They're
don't care
green.
about I don't care about that.
It's a pond. Oh, can I go back? That's the pond.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I like more the drop-down view on it.
Oh yeah, well me too. You can see the fish too, but I always like to see what the setups actually look like when people share tanks.
Right. Seeing the nuts and bolts of a thing.
Now, are you doing like a water change or something, or why is your water low? You just got to top it off. Or?
I used the water from that tank on my other one, so I have to make new one. New water.
Okay, okay. Oh yeah, you can't just fill it up and throw salt in while it's filling, right?
No. And I only got a small tap for my water, so to mix it. So it takes a while.
Yeah, and that's one
And
reason
that
I'm gonna get into salt.
God, those are gorgeous.
Yeah, and them lights probably got a good tag on them too.
the whole
Mhm.
setup used $100.
Oh, okay. So is this more like a DIY thing?
No, that's TMC Tropic Marine Center's online what they got in the UK.
Okay.
That stuff here.
I know some people spend lots of money on their lights.
The quarantine tank, the light costs around $400.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, that setup you're doing marine, you definitely need to spend a little bit more money on lights. What I was saying earlier about the freshwater lights, I don't think that you could use these Amazon full spectrums for marine and have success.
You can when you don't want to have corals.
Yeah, very true. You'd have to deal with a lot of overheating too, because those marine
Heck
lights
yeah.
are cooled and yeah.
That's
very
why
cool.
my canopy is open. It
Yeah.
was before closed up, but in the summer it overheats all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So how many fish you got in there?
In there, I got 15 silver moonies. I got Homer. I got another trigger in here, a Niger trigger. How many? 25,
Wow,
I think.
that's a ton of fish.
I stopped counting after the moonies.
That's really cool. I like that. I like that setup right there. June likes the yellow lips.
Yeah, they're absolutely gorgeous fish. That's one of my favorites in the saltwater world.
Yeah. Hey, it's crazy what they cost now. The clown
Yeah.
triggers. Especially when you got a bit of a size.
How could you not? Yeah. So how long you been keeping saltwater tanks?
Saltwater tanks, 8 years almost.
8 years. And this did you? I'm sorry. I hope I didn't miss. But is this the only one you have? You said you have a couple more.
Let's go. That's my quarantine. Growth tank for the smaller ones.
Oh, cool.
I hope we got
What was
the light
that?
on the Nemani tank.
What was that? What
Yeah.
catfish looking deal with the whiskers?
That one.
Yeah. What was it? Shark? What is that?
Those are sharks. What? Yeah, shark. It's a catfish. What lives on the coast of America. You usually get them as a freshwater fish in the fish shop
Okay.
at that size.
Yeah, he's cool. I like catfish.
I like them too. And they get double the size what they got now. They get around 60 centimeters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
60, 70 meters in feet. Hey Google. What is 60 meters in feet?
60 meters is 191
Centimeters.
5805.
Meters is too big.
196 feet.
No. Centimeters, not meters.
2 feet.
Oh, you said centimeters. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to be like,
No.
Yeah,
You
it'd be
gotta send me
I
just
on
don't have
under
a
2 feet.
whale. I don't have a whale.
But if you did, no.
yeah,
If I did, yeah.
190. I don't have a whale.
No, it's not allowed in Austria.
That's funny. Meters. I was like, wait a minute. What is this in feet? Very cool.
So let's go to the next tank.
Let's get to the next one.
That's the cylinder. That's doing right now water change.
Cylinder. It's a cylinder tank. Was that an
Yeah.
angelfish I saw?
Angelfish. It's a mixed tank with some what you call them? Glowfish and other
Mhm.
tetras.
Hmm. Very, very cool.
Spare tank.
Ooh,
One
this
of my guppy breeding tanks.
some lush greenery.
The wisteria.
The other one.
Gorgeous.
And I breed the red and blue Japanese double tail guppies.
Oh, neat. There's very cool.
Oh, wow.
And I breed them for the fish shop where I work. So I can sell them.
You make out pretty good doing that? Oh, we got lost him a bit.
There we go.
There you are.
Hello, I'm back.
Yes.
And those are my Africans.
I got you. Very cool. So how long you been fish keeping?
Since I'm 15, and now this year I get 36, so a few months.
That's cool. Very cool. I appreciate you coming up and wanting to share your tanks with us.
I said thank you for having me.
So what's out of all your tanks, which one's your own favorite?
That one, the big one.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I'm thinking of get rid of all the small ones and get a giant one, 1,000 gallons or more.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. One big 1,000-gallon tank.
Hmm.
Chat's liking it.
Then you could have a baby whale.
Yeah, then you can get that. whale.
Yeah, or dolphin.
Oh, that'd
Better,
be cool.
better would be a mermaid, but I take the head thing fishy.
Right.
Very cool. That's awesome. Appreciate you sharing. I always like seeing the saltwater fish. I just don't. That's one of them things. To me, saltwater tanks are. I like having friends who own boats and then go home and they can have all the maintenance and storing it.
But maintenance is on the big tank isn't that bad. You have to have the right fish to clean it.
Yeah, very cool.
Hi, Jay.
I like the Buddha guy.
Heck yeah, I'm too. And I also got somewhere in there a mud skipper.
Oh yeah, you won't find him way too easy.
No, usually he is back on the dock, but not today.
Mud skippers are neat. I think Tazawa Tanks has a, well, he did have an aquarium with them in it. I don't know if he still does. You guys watch him. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna start putting that link down in chat all the time so people can come up and share all they want. Ooh, surprisingly, not too many people do it, so I was glad to see you
Yeah,
want.
people are usually shy.
Whip's in Northern Illinois, but he does have them Steeler pants on. I'm from PA, so go Steelers, right? Go Steelers. I have the hardest time finding the camera on my laptop. I'm like this shit. Cool. Well, guys, I think I'm going to jump off here. We've been on for over 2 hours. I got some things to take care of. I certainly appreciate you coming up and sharing your tanks. Always a pleasure with you, Tommy, as well. We can do this
Absolutely.
regular. I'm going to have you come up as much as you want. So keep that in mind for the future.
I'll be here. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And that 2 hours went by quick.
Yeah, it sure did. Let's have fun. So,
Heck
And
yeah,
we
have a
definitely
nice
left
one.
it open to where there's a lot more to talk about on the on the subject too. So maybe we could pick that up again another time. The
oh yeah,
misconceptions in the hobby.
I think between the two of us,
Lists.
we'll easily have conversation. It just comes like fluid. So
Yeah.
never a quiet moment. We'll always be talking about something.
Except for that moment.
Oh, I was you're such a perfectionist. All right, well, I'm out. You guys have a good rest of your weekend and be safe. Thanks for all the support. I'm getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, so close. Can't wait to get there to that 1K so I can be like Tommy and many others.
You'll probably still be monetized before me.
I doubt it.
I'm down to 1,400 watch hours, and I was almost to 3,000. I've got to start live streaming again.
yeah, you got to start. I always enjoy your live streams. So, I mean, by you being on here, don't that help you too?
I don't think so.
I thought it helped both channels.
No, not unless I joined from my channel, I think.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. I miss your live streams, man. So if you feel like doing it, get back into it. So
I will be. It's almost set up to where I can again. So
okay, cool, Selena. I appreciate you coming in. It's okay that you're late. Things happen. Life first. All right, I'm gonna jump off.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, everybody.
There, I can't find that camera again. There. Hey, check this out though. One last thing here.
We'll see y'all next time.
See you, buddy.